Okay, so just to warn listeners and viewers, I chose to. Okay, let me just explain
You're
what I did.
sick. You're sick.
Let me
Yeah.
just,
Sick.
okay, let me.
I call sabotage.
Let me. Okay. So the reason I wanted to venture back to this episode. Okay, remember when they showed that never before seen moment during the. What is that? What is the Lucy Apple Juicy season? Is that season 9?
I think so. Yeah.
So they show, because as Bravo has shown us, when they're mad at you, they will show the footage they've been holding on to protect you from the audience, right? So they were like, so Andy, because remember Camille was like on a tear at that reunion, and she was kind of like the only one defending Lisa, but Andy was like, Camille, you had an issue with Lisa, didn't you, back in season 2? And she's like, I did. And they showed that footage, the never before seen footage of her leaving this party being like, you threw me under the bus just now, Lisa. You told me to say that. And I remember being like, do I need to go back and watch all of Beverly Hills again with a completely different perspective? Because up until that point, like I watched in real time Beverly Hills. Yeah. And even when I had it on like in the background as like a rewatch, like comfort blanket, you still were watching it with like your old perspective.
100%.
So I went back and rewatched it. Like, was Lisa really the one plotting? Like they had been wrongfully
100%.
accusing her of this whole time?
100%.
So
I also famously have like the world's worst taste in housewives. And I think you just have to own that about yourselves. I know that like it's passe. It's not a good look anymore. I'm still an LVP girly from like, I still ride for her. I think that she was like the first of her kind to be able to pull the strings, and she got away with it for a very long time.
My friend Pia has convinced me that as I used to hate LVP. Once I was so duped and I went back and watched, I was like, oh, and then she did it. And then but Pia has convinced me that like, no, Emily, that's just because she was that good at it. And so I've like flipped back to being like, I like you, but for a different reason, because you're such a good villain. But when I went back and rewatched, I wasn't like recapping or examining or doing anything like that. So I was like, let's go back to that, because this is like such a pivotal shift in all of the dynamics. I didn't remember how poorly they handled the
terrible
abuse situation.
Yeah.
But like not just the cast, like production, Bravo, all of it.
Yes.
So this is like as you guys do on your show, like what age like Blockbuster?
The whole first episode you made us watch is what age like Blockbuster. The second one, some of it aged a little better. Not Ace Young, but the rest of it aged a little better. But that whole first episode was tough.
It was like the first episode you had us watch. It was like, okay, and now a reprieve. Let's go to Kim's addiction storyline.
Yeah.
With Ken.
Ugh, that motherfucker.
I don't think I've ever seen a human being that's had more. We start the episode with like her dragging Kyle in crying to meet him. Well, okay, so first, this is how it starts. So like previously we have Taylor being mad because Lisa has said she has no friends. And Kyle has said the famous line, Lisa preys on the weak, which Kyle meant kind of as like an encouraging thing to Taylor, which is like, Lisa will never let this go. Like for years, Lisa will remind Kyle that she has said this. Remember, like this will be a thing. But Kyle's like, I meant that like to encourage Taylor to stand up to you because maybe Lisa preys on the weak. I'm like, see, the more you say it, Kyle, the worse it gets.
Doogie. And that's the thing about Doogie Richards. It's so funny to see her. She has been doogieing since day one. Like her favorite thing to do is to like talk shit and hype both sides up. And then when those two people finally come together, she gets to be the victim. And she's like, oh my God, my friends are fighting. This is like so hard for me. I can't believe I don't want to get involved. And it's like, you actually did a lot of this, Doogie.
Yeah. Which is evident.
And this was season 2. So this was back in my loving Kyle Richards days. Like I loved Kyle. I considered myself a Kyle. Kind of still do, but now
I liked Kyle back then.
Yeah.
Too.
And when I would rewatch stuff, I didn't have a 2023 hating Kyle lens. But so this was my first time like watching an older episode and saying like, oh no, you're a vile woman. So even when she was on that like rodeo horse, I was rolling my eyes because I was like, she is trying to get the edit she wants this whole time.
It worked. It worked until it didn't. And I feel like
until Lisa was gone.
Right. I feel like a high school boy being like, well, I liked this band before it was cool because I saw through Doogie's shit since day one. But I will say Kyle, for me, is always the most likable when she is with Kim, because there is something so like deeply relatable and authentic about her and Kim and her trying to like both cover up for Kim, but also kind of drag her publicly. It's like this weird balance that's like a very sister thing that we see. And it's like the realest thing about her is I think her relationships with her sister, because even when she's trying to hide the mess, she can't.
I know what you mean, because it's like I blame Big Kathy always for all of the sister dynamics.
100%.
And you can see that the most in Kyle. Like Kyle was the baby and didn't get properly protected by Big Kathy. So she was trying to like make her family appear normal to all of her normal friends, but she had to deal with Kim and Kathy. And that's probably an impossible feat.
And there's even a scene with Mauricio. I forget what he said. I should have taken notes, but there was something he said where like she gave him the eyes too, where she was like, careful what you're going to say. Because she did it to Kim during a couple scenes. But then when he was it's Mauricio, Kyle, Adrian, and whatever Adrian's husband's name is. Dr. 90210. Yeah. And Mauricio says something and she like just glances like, please be quiet. You're on camera. And we get those eyes from Kyle a lot.
Yep. The taglines for this season, we've got Lisa's classic. Life isn't all diamonds and rosé, but it should be. That bitch knew that she's so good. So good. Kyle's, I'm not the richest girl in Beverly Hills, but I am the luckiest.
In Beverly Hills, in this town of Beverly Hills, it's Beverly Hills and it's my town in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, but in season 2, we didn't know that it was going to continue on for 9 more years. So we had no idea.
Yeah. Cute. Yeah.
Kim's is so good. People try to figure me out, but I'm one of a kind.
She sure is.
She sure is. And like the little clips that they show too, she's doing this like little dance. I'm like, yeah, Kim.
I love Kim. I wish that she could come back in like a full friend of capacity. Like as long as we knew it was good for her mental health, good for her sobriety, like kept her healthy. But I just find her delightful. Everything about her, from her little shoulder shimmy shakes to just... I really love her. She has a sweet spirit about her, even when she's clearly unwell.
Season 4, Kim, was the best. Because she was like sober, you know, I'm putting on quotes because like, you know, questionable the amount of meds they were putting her on, like not necessary. But like, I feel like that's rich people sober, where they're like, sure, whatever.
A stepping stone.
Yeah, close enough. But she was like so goofy and she was fantastic. That was the one with like the squirrels, where she just like wanted to squeeze the squirrels and the turtles. Like that was her top tier season. Taylor's, I finally found my voice and I'm not afraid to use it. It's only season 2, so I like, we can't, it doesn't have the impact really, because it's like, we only knew you one season. So.
Right.
Okay, I'm glad you finally found it, I guess.
Yeah.
Adrian's is so Adrian's. This is the thing, Adrian wasn't really built for reality TV. So
I disagree. Adrian, someone tweeted, and I forget who it was, but they were like, it was a poll, and they said, who is the queen of Beverly Hills? Is it Lisa Vanderpump or Kyle? And I said, can someone please call me when Adrian is added to these choices? Because I refuse to answer. Adrian, I think, is phenomenal. I can't even speak because I'm so thrilled with Adrian.
The hair tinsel.
Yeah. I
really
love Adrienne. Yeah. Put her on The Traitors, put her on Celebrity Big Brother, put her on everything.
I love how openly...
those are better shows for Adrienne, I think.
I don't know, because she is that level of delusional where she doesn't realize how poorly she's coming across. Like, I forgot how openly her and Paul hated each other. Yes. Like, all of their scenes make me laugh so hard because it's like this is them trying. Yeah. This is them trying to show the world they're in love. And I'm like, oh, you guys like might actually murder each other.
But here's the problem. As soon as it became like, give us the real stuff, she books it.
That's true.
That's where I'm like, if she would give it to us, I'm in.
Yeah, but there are other women. One of them was just listed as a potential queen of Beverly Hills that also don't show us their real life.
Lisa.
And another one was fired this year, Lisa Rinna. And so if you're not going to show us who you are, I'd at least like to love you, like Adrienne.
Okay, fine. Argument taken.
The problem with Adrienne, I think, isn't even at this point. At this point where we are, I don't think there's a problem with Adrienne. I think the problem is when Brandy comes with the information.
There we go. Next season.
Yeah. So I think
that's where I'm thinking is when Brandy comes. But Brandy was just really doing Lisa's bidding.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that for whatever reason, Adrienne thought that was private information, and she would have continued to shine the way she did as a star in the first 3 seasons if that information didn't come out. We can compare it to Jen Shah. If this Jen Shah illegal stuff didn't come out, Jen Shah would have continued to shine.
Surrogacy, rotting the elderly.
Wasn't that such a disappointment, though, when you found out what the big thing was that Brandy said? You're like, surrogacy?
Yeah.
I was hoping it was something real dark, but
I wanted her to like kill a man, and she washed his body with soap too. Yeah.
Way to go! That was good. Camille's is fantastic. Diamonds aren't a girl's best friend. Freedom is. Sure.
Oh, Camille,
take it. Well, Center Diamond was Adrienne this season.
For good reason, yeah.
I didn't realize that she was. I wouldn't put her at like Center Diamond for this season. I kind of would have put like Taylor, but she probably was too fragile to handle that.
Yeah, she couldn't have handled that pressure.
No,
but this is the transition season where LVP really kind of took over, because if you remember in season 1. It was all framed through Adrienne. Like, here are my fabulous group of friends, and I live across the street from this quirky British woman. And so this was the season where LVP put up her iPad picture and said, oh no, my ego, it's big, but it's valid.
So LVP calls Kyle as she's walking in. So Kyle, was it production saying, LVP, call right now? And then Kyle goes, hey, so I can't find you guys. Where are you? And LVP going, what do you mean? I'm not in a hotel. What are you talking about? Are you not here? No. Oh, I thought you were at Taylor's event. No, I'm actually calling to invite you to tea. Oh, sorry. That was like, mwah, whoever orchestrated that phone call.
Perfection.
And with cameras on both ends, because so many times now it's just like a video call, like where we would see Lisa on the phone and then Kyle running through the halls. But for the camera to be in both places, truly God's work.
They knew Lisa, because they always do. Beverly Hills loves a let's show the invite scene. Beverly Hills loves those scenes, like watch me calling. Yeah. They love that. So they were already going to show that, but the producers were like, no, let's definitely get it. We're like, Kyle's walking in. I don't know how they timed it so perfectly. And Kyle, do you think Kyle really didn't know Lisa was invited?
So this is my thing, is that I feel like she didn't. I feel like she did know. I feel like there's a call sheet. I feel like they are scheduled to show up. Like, I feel like she knew. I am such a Doogie hater. Like, it's my favorite sport to hate on her, that it really took me a minute to accept that LVP called her, because in my mind, I wanted it to be that she called LVP to be like, where are you guys? But I know that that's not reality. However, that would be in line with what Doogie would be up to. But I wouldn't put it past her that she did know, and production was like, hey, Lisa's going to call you. We need to like move the storyline along that she's not invited. She was like,
there was there is a hint of acting to her tone. There's a hint of like, oh, are you not here? Oh, oops. There's a hint of that. So
it's the same energy every time she gets on an airplane. It's like, I believe you're nervous for this, but you're putting on a show for us. Yeah.
And now that they fly all the time and they're in private jets because now they're just so fucking rich, she's just not doing that because she doesn't have time to put that performance on every single time. That's just, oh my God. She's like, I'm suddenly over it. Wait, didn't she get hypnotized with Teddy? They did like hypnotherapy.
Yeah. Oh.
She's magically cured. She's like, I need to knock this storyline off. So let's get hypnotized on camera together. But Taylor has not invited Lisa because she knows that she doesn't like her. And we do get the flashback of when Russell's like, I might just threaten to sue Lisa for selling that story about Russell or about them breaking up. But there was also the whole Lisa selling stories thing. Okay. This is where I was, when I watched it again, I was with the fresh eyes. I was like, oh my God, there was that story about Taylor being really skinny. And Lisa was always hard. Every time she saw Taylor, the first thing out of her mouth would be, Taylor, you're not eating. You're not eating. I'm worried about you. And then literally the story that was planted was all of her friends are worried about her because she's not eating.
Yeah. And I mean, for her, I love LVP, but there are some parts of this that is just like so peak second season when she goes, it's nice to know she's been eating, even if it's just diet pills. I'm like, well, all right. Okay.
Yeah. Like that was also like a dead givever.
Yeah.
That you just blew your cover. Like, just don't say that.
Just like I've been planning that confessional since the moment I called Radar Online.
Exactly. So Lisa, I mean, she goes right for it. She goes, well, I heard you had an event yesterday and they all went. Adrian tries. She tries to keep it light. She's like, and that was so nice that you were nominated, Taylor. I'm like, no, this is a nice try though. Nice try. But Lisa's like, well, I was quite upset that you didn't invite me, to be honest. I've always been very kind to you. That is a reach, Lisa, but I like that you tried. I like that you tried. Now, see, this is where Lisa thinks that she can still maintain that she's been kind to Taylor and nothing but loving and supportive. Because she's like, she thinks she can maintain that narrative, but Taylor gets to bust this out. Lisa, the last 2 times we've had a conversation, you've led into it by saying, and I quote, I am not your friend. And what? Lisa said, I haven't said I'm not your friend. Now here, Taylor goes to like a different place. She goes, now Lisa, you better backtrack, girl. And I'm like, oh shit. So here's
she's been practicing this in the shower.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, Taylor came into this. She had conversations with Kyle and Camille ahead of time. Like 100%. They hyped her up. They were like, yeah, no, fuck Lisa. Like that's not cool at all. Like they had shit talking conversations. So Taylor was amped up. She came in this ready to she's like, I didn't invite her to my event. I don't care. I'm not even sorry. She knows she wasn't invited. Like she came with a different level of confidence that we've ever seen her have with Lisa. And so Lisa says, why would I invite you to come and stay at my house? This is where Taylor has her number, okay? This is why I'm so fascinated by the scene. She says, because it makes you look like a saint. If she had maintained that, like, and stayed right there, she could have owned Lisa in this scene. She could have said, you're only nice to me because you know I'm needing things, blah, blah, blah. But then she goes here. And she goes, don't cut me off. This is what you do. You start conversations with me and Camille. And I'm like, oh, no. All right. Well, no. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Now you fucked up because Camille's like, nope. Nope. You did not clear this with me. Okay. You did not clear this with me. So now the whole room is nervous because now she's like a rogue operative. And everyone who's been talking shit about Lisa is like, it's like a kamikaze mission.
But this is kind of the power of LVP, that this was an ambush. They were going to come to her turf. They've been hyping up Taylor. This was going to be the Lisa has one season under her belt and now she thinks she's the queen of this franchise and we're going to take her down a peg. That was supposed to be initially this conversation. I think all the women were going to have Taylor be the fall guy, but like they were hoping, they had a script and Taylor went off script. And the power of LVP is that like it totally then, because Taylor looped Camille in, Camille was like, oh, no. Like I already was the most hated person in the world last season. I'm not about to go against LVP. And it totally flips because these women are all talking shit about each other behind the scenes, and because they're all clearly talking about the things that Taylor has been telling them behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It completely turns into an intervention for Taylor. And that is why LVP was the queen for so long, because like, who else could do that? Who else could take something that is intentionally meant to take them down and make it kind of like ruin somebody else's life instead?
So you do think that they knew Taylor was coming in with this?
100%. Kyle was on the phone with her. Camille was on the phone of like, you should approach her about this. This wasn't cool. You just didn't invite her to that thing. You have the upper hand. And I think Taylor, like a lot of housewives do, I think she got a little too hyped, a little too big for her britches. And she was like, okay, cool. We're going to take down LVP. And
she thought it was a we. She thought we were going to, but they were like, we never said we. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. If you wouldn't mind, if you are listening, could you please leave a 5-star rate and review? That would be amazing. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed, like this video, and comment below. That would also be fantastic. Don't forget, I've got the Patreon up and running now. That is where all the Bravo jams will be covered. I'm talking table flip. I'm talking old school Atlanta. I'm talking old school Beverly Hills. All the good stuff that brought us together as Bravo fans. And of course, follow me on social media if you're not already at She Speaks Bravo on TikTok and on Instagram. And if you want to go that extra mile to support me, buy me a coffee, or 2, or 5 at buymeacoffee.com/SheSpeaksBravo. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.